誰もわしの言うことを聞かんのじゃ。
And because we don't know you, new year, new chapter of this game. Hello, just what we've been doing here. Welcome back to Quartz for the Book of Shadows. Let us start the third chapter. Encounter.
天神5番地のこれ23だよな。それとも33か？まったく山崎先生の字は読みづらいな。
This really wasn't my day. I knocked over my alarm clock this morning, and of course it stopped working. The very last pork cinder sold out right before my eyes during lunch, and I was roped into favor when I happened upon my homeroom teacher, Mr. Yamazaki, long after the school day had ended. So now, like it or not, I was on my way to deliver some notes to Miss Yui, our home TA, who was out sick with a cold.
後でゆかに謝らないとな。今日は早く帰ってゆかの買い物に付き合ってやる予定だったし。天神5番地23の11、ここか。これが6番地33の77とかじゃなければだけど。
I stopped and compared the memo in my hand with the apartment building in front of me. It was 2 stories tall and looked a little on the shabby side. Probably about 20 years old. It didn't seem very solid, nor was it a particularly stylish or chic. It was a completely unremarkable structure in every way.
ここの207号室、いや、201?
I was really getting fed up with this handwriting, and from a teacher, no less. In any case, it seemed certain the apartment was on the second floor, so I trudged up this startlingly narrow, steep stairs. The staircase was thoroughly blotched with patches of rust. Why would someone live in such a run-down apartment building?
先生の給料ってもしかしてすごく安かったりするのか？
Yes. I felt a little sorry for her, but in a way, this was kind of fits her personality. With that thought in mind, I turned my attention toward apartment 201.
あ、ここが201号室か。でもゆい先生の家じゃないな。
The door plate for the room nearest to the stairs had a name I didn't recognize scribbled on it.
ってことはこの奥か。
As we went to I continued down the narrow walkway to the end. Wandering alone around an apartment building I'd never been to before made me feel kind of nervous. It wasn't like I was doing anything wrong, but my back still tensed up as I maneuvered around piled up strollers, plastic toys, and bundles of newspapers. But finally, I arrived at the last door.
ここだ。
This was it. I breathed a sigh of relief. The doorway for apartment 207 read Shishido. For an adult's handwriting, especially the letters were round, overly cutesy. This was Miss Yui's place, alright?
なんだろうこれ。
I leaned in to read something written in small script in the corner of the door plate.
愛病注意って猛犬注意じゃなくてゆい先生らしいや。
So how exactly does one beware a house cat? Is it possible for a house cat to be threatening? At any rate, I confirmed beyond a shadow of doubt that this was Miss Yui's place, so my end was nearing its end.
それにしても山崎先生もひどいよな。風邪ひいたクラスメートにプリント持っていくならわかるけど、風邪ひいた副担の先生のうちに授業のノートを届けろって。絶対におかしい。間違いなくこれ担任の仕事だよ。
He said he was busy with meetings, though. Really needed one of his students to help him out. But was it really okay to entrust a school student with confidential class notes?
これ生徒が読んじゃまずいノートなんじゃないのか？
My mind kept drifting from one question to another and became acutely aware of the inherent value of these notes I held in my bag. But tempting as it was, I just couldn't bring myself to look at them. Mr. Yamazaki put his faith in me after all. And I was stronger than that. I couldn't let this get the best of me. At any rate, I was here. I should have just been able to drop off the notes and be on my way. Putting all my doubts and misgivings aside, I rang the doorbell. Then I waited and waited and waited some more, but there was no answer.
あれ俺、呼び鈴をしたよな。ゆい先生
I rang the bell again and also tried calling out, but there was still no response.
どうしよう。寝てんのかな
Making sure everything's recording right. Yeah, okay.
起こしちゃ悪いけど、でも心配だしな。
When we'd heard that Missy was staying home sick today, we were all pretty disappointed. Yes, part of me was actually a little happy that I was asked to run the over door. I figured I'd be able to check in, see how she was doing, and let everyone in school know that she was feeling better.
けど会えないっていうのは想定外だったな。ゆい先生ゆい先生反応なしか。ゆい先生すみません。
She was probably sleeping or out at the doctor's or something, but what if she were hurt? I tried opening the mail slot and peeking in. I thought maybe I could get a glimpse of the room inside.
ゆい先生
I felt kind of wrong peeking into someone's house without their permission. But I was legitimately worried about Miss Yui's health, so my conscience was clear on this one. Hi. Oh, look at you cute little cat. Aw. So cute.
ああ猫
My well-groomed cat was facing the door and staring back at me. With his head tilted slightly to the side, it let out an adorable meow. This must be the cat I was instructed to beware. And since Miss Yui was always going on about a little buddy, I was pretty sure I remembered his name.
この子が噂のモレじゃなくて確かモネ。
Oh, no.
そうだモネちゃんだ。へえ綺麗な猫だな。
Miss Yui talked about her cat a lot in class, so pretty much the whole school had heard of him. She even had some tins of food hidden on a shelf in their classroom, probably because she bought too much out of room for them in her apartment.
モネ先生はいるか
Oh.
先生がいるんだったら起こしてきてほしいんだ。モネ頼むよ。やっぱり無理か。そりゃそうだよな。
My shoulders were sick. I felt defeated. What the hell was I doing? I closed the mail slot and stood back up.
弱ったな。ゆい先生どうしたんだろう。どっか外出中とか空いてたりしないかな。
Can never tell when they're done talking. Lost in this speculation, I placed my hand on the doorknob. Under a quick twist, I turned it and pushed on the door, opening it easily.
え鍵かかってないのか。
Huh.
うわいけねモネが出たら大変だ。お前のご主人様は不用心だな。鍵もかけてないなんて。
My knight's whiskers twitched as I called out to him from the entranceway.
なんだその通りだにゃって。
Oh.
モネもやっぱりそう思うか。
Uh-huh. I remember, I think Satoshi was one of my favorites in the game. There I was talking to a cat. Was this what I'd become?
どうしよ
I was feeling pretty uneasy. Not only had I peeped into someone's home, I walked in without a second thought. Moreover, this was where Monsieur lived alone, in other words, a woman's apartment. Oh no. No matter how many times I reminded myself that I was here on Aaron, I couldn't help feeling that I not only crossed the line, but leaped over it.
う。ゆい先生。
They're calling her name one last time, but as I expected, there was no answer.
本当にどうしようかな。
Maybe she's just a very deep sleeper. I was trying hard to avoid being too noisy, but my eyes were inevitably began surveying the room. Permanent entrance led out immediately into the kitchen, and beyond that there was a sliding door to some other room. I could see light through the gaps. I strained my ears, but there was nothing to hear, no signs of life whatsoever. Missy really must have been out. One more time I tried calling out to her. One more time. I tried calling out to her one more time, just to put my coroner's concerns at ease. But like I'd seen even more suspicious about stayed silent.
ゆい先生、持田です。
Still nothing. Maybe she was asleep on the other side of that door.
確かめてみ。いや。
Shaking my head furiously, I cast out a sudden impulse. That was a terrible idea, pure and simple. Entering the apartment unannounced was bad enough, but walking all the way in, opening the sliding door and peeking inside, that would just do much.
っていうか、このタイミングでゆい先生が外から帰ってきたりしたら、俺結構まずい。じゃなくて、だいぶまずい。
Manoing me out as if in agreement. Panicking, I once again surveyed my surroundings. I almost felt like there were eyes on me staring with disdain. But of course nobody was there.
あ、そうだ。書き置きを残していけばいいんじゃないか?
Why didn't you think of that? Wondering why I didn't think of this sooner. I dug in my bag for some paper and a pen.
山崎先生から頼まれたのでって書いておけばいいんだよな。俺のノートでいいや。
Hello, Monet.
ゆい先生、
Crouching in the doorway, I ran my pen across the page. I brought class notes at Mr. Yamazaki's behest. Everyone has been worried about you. Sorry about barging into your apartment.
あと、不用心だから、鍵はかけた方がいいと思いますと。
As I was reading the note, I sensed a presence in front of me. Just a moment ago, this house had no signs of human life in it, but now I could feel someone standing directly ahead. Standing and looking down at me. Fidgeting nervously, I put down my pen, raised my head slowly. I saw a white, slender ankle. Shocked, I shot my head up, and there, standing before me, was Miss Yui. Nice pajamas.
先生。
She was looking right at me, but she seemed decidedly out of sorts. Her hair looked disheveled, her gaze wasn't steady, her pajamas were in complete disarray. She was like a completely different person from the usual kept educated we come to know and love.
ゆい先生、俺勝手に入っちゃって。
I stood up frantically and held out the note I'd been writing. But she really was just asleep. She was just standing there, stupefied by the completely vacant expression on her face.
先生。
I called out to her as gently as I could, but she was really dazed. She seemed almost like a ghost.
先生、どうしちゃったんだよ。
I had a sudden uneasy feeling. Worried, I walked up to Miss Yui, grabbed her shoulders, and tried to snap her out of it by shaking her. But instead, this just seemed to make her cough.
先生!
These were wet, productive coughs, and spit was shooting out from Miss Yui's mouth with each one. Right. Okay, interesting. I frantically tried to shield my face from the spray, but my reaction time just wasn't quick enough.
もう
Put a hand to her cheek and found it thick with a slimy film of saliva. Ew. Oh.
大丈夫
Oops.
ゆい先生。
Mitsui hobbled back a little and fell to her knees with a thud. She had completely sprawled out in the hallway, moaning and groaning the whole time.
先生
Wiping the spatterings from the own face, I leaned over and took a better look at hers. It was bright red. Strained breathing, a stuffy nose, and a visibly high fever on top of it all. She was sick as could be.
寒いのでも汗かいてるよ。
寒い。
I thought maybe her sweat had cooled her down, but then realized her to show pajamas certainly weren't doing her any favors. With heart pounding a mile a minute, face red as a traffic light, I set about buttoning her up.
ゆい先生、俺のことわかる？持田だよ。寒いならちゃんと布団で寝ないと。出ないと治るもんも治らないって。
She absentmindedly extended her shaking arms like a zombie, slowly reopening her eyes, looked up at me. It was the gaze of a severely fevered mind.
ゆい先生、
司くん。
え？うわ
Oh God.
司くん。
え？
She was clinging to me tightly. I couldn't move. I was frozen in shock. She began to weep.
来てくれたのね、司くん。
え？つかさ？
嬉しい。よかった。
先生待って、人違いだよ。
It seemed like I wasn't getting through to her at all. This is Of course you would think of that. And the sensation of her chest as she held me was making it virtually impossible to fight her grip. Are you sure? I was utterly powerless against this opponent. Oh my God. Really? This is how we start this chapter. God, even that weak-willed, I had to remind myself that Mitsui had me confused with someone else. Muttering all the strength I could, I gripped her arms and tried to pry them off me. But she was a lot stronger than I anticipated and wouldn't let me get away.
怖かったよ、司くん。怖かった。
怖かった？
まさか来てくれるなんて思わなかった。
うわ
Just flustered yelled. As she squeezed me totally, I felt as though my upper body might collapse under the pressure of her. I was blushing uncontrollably.
ゆい先生、ちょっと離れて。先生ってば。
I struggled to wriggle free of Mitsui and grabbed me tighter. I was getting more and more intertwined, and every time I squirmed, Mitsui would just pull me, of course, pull you even closer.
司くん。
Not how I imagined the chapter would start. Her chest froze and fell erratically, droplets of sweat slid down. Of course, I could feel the heat of her radiating off her steadily encroaching face as well as the shoulders I grabbed in an effort to push her away.
そばにいて、司くん。お願い。
だから人違い。
Questions were swirling around in my head. Why was Mitsui crying? And who was this Tsukasa person? But I was most concerned for the state of her pajamas, which had become even more disheveled during our struggle.
先生、パジャマ、ズボン。 ずり落ちてるから。
司くん、あったかい。
ゆい先生ってば。
Realizing that not a single word was getting through to her, I sighed resignedly. I'd taken care of Yuka any number of times when she'd caught a cold and drawn a fever, but I don't recall it ever getting this bad. Miss Yu was usually calm, collected, and rational. Who would ever have imagined that a fever could leave her so thoroughly discombobulated?
ゆい先生、ちょっともう。
Put more strength into my resistance, and finally her arms relaxed just a tiny bit. But her expression changed drastically.
やだ。
先生、俺は持田聡で、司って人じゃ。
行かないで。やだ。
Miss Yu was acting like a spoiled child. Slipping out of the shoes I'd still been wearing, I again drew close to her sprawled out form. There was no way I could just leave her here like this.
後で気がついて、怪しまないでくれよ。
Miss Yu let out a lethargic groan, perhaps in response to my quiet murmurings. At my wits end, I grabbed hold of her and did my best to carry her into the back room. Gently wheeling her over to her unfurling futon, I then carefully laid her down, making sure I didn't drop her in the process. Then there was the matter of rebuttoning those pesky pajamas again. I hesitantly pulled up her pajama bottoms and pushed away the straight hairs that were plastered to her brow with sweat. I'd done my best to avoid seeing anything I shouldn't, but I am a guy, so my heart was pounding the whole time. And Shui's pajamas were soaked through with sweat. She really might have been better off with a change of clothes altogether. But no, that would have been going way too far.
タオルとか何か拭くものでもあれば。
Noticing convenience store bag carelessly tossed to the floor, I glanced inside.
なんだ、冷却シート買ってきてあるじゃん。なんで使ってないんだか。もう。先生、ヒヤッとするけど我慢してね。これでよしと。
I placed one of the compresses to her forehead and pulled the covers over her. Miss Yui appeared almost instantly relieved. She exhaled contentedly, and her breathing became more relaxed. Finally, she was asleep. Even in sleep, Miss Yui seemed to be suffering.
もうね。なんだ、先生が心配か？だよな。俺もここまでひどいことになってるとは思わなかったよ。
Monday had coiled up in my legs. Without me noticing, I began suddenly speaking to him. He mewed in response, and our conversation ended there as my gaze was still fixed squarely on Miss Yui.
さて、どうしようか。ゆい先生。
I think she's asleep.
俺、このまま帰っても大丈夫？
She wasn't in any condition to respond. But
ゆい先生。
Miss Yui's hand slipped out from under the futon and was gently grasping my pant leg. Her grip was much weaker than before, and I knew I'd probably regret it if I went home now. Miss Yui just seemed really lonely.
仕方ないな。
Without disrupting Miss Yui's hold on me, I took a seat beside her. For the time being, I figured I'd watch over her and make sure her condition didn't worsen. Occasionally, Miss Yui's breathing would become ragged and she'd furrow her brow. She was in a pretty bad way.
辛そうだな。
Oh. Wasn't there anything else I could do? I glanced quietly down the hallway. I noticed when I carried Miss Yui here that the kitchen near the entrance was perfectly neat and tidy. There wasn't any indication it had been used that day at all.
飯食ってるのかな？
Monet's gaze shifted suddenly. I followed it and saw pit bowls laid out on the counter of the room. One dish was filled to the brim with water and the other was piled high with dry cat food.
なるほど。モネはちゃんと食べてるんだな。熱出してあんな状態になってても、お前のことはちゃんと考えてくれてるんだな。
Oh.
でもさ、ゆい先生、まずは自分の食事の心配をしようよ。
I shook my head at the whole situation, then glanced at Monet, who was tilting his head as if trying to understand me. I broke into a dry smile. When I pulled out the cold packs, I did notice some cheap convenience store food in the bag as well. I guess that was going to be your food for the day, not exactly the best stuff to eat when you're sick.
米と、あと卵くらいはきっとあるよな。卵がゆでも作ろう。先生、キッチン借りるよ。
Her face was bright red, and her half-pained, half-contented noises provided me with no clear-cut answer to my
仕
question.
方ない。ゆい先生の代わりに、モネに許しをもらおうかな。モネ、キッチンを借りていいか？
Asking the cat.
ありがとう。
Mone's cries helped assuage my guilt over entering the woman's apartment and borrowing her kitchen. I thought I had any reason to feel guilty. I don't think, anyway. I mean, circumstances were what they were. Still, I had this nagging sense that I should have somehow felt bad about what I was doing.
ゆい先生、ごめんな。ちょっと離れるよ。
One by one, I gently peeled off each of the fingers latched to my pant leg. The expression on her face changed as I was doing so, from contented rest to mild annoyance, but there was nothing to indicate that she might wake up.
よし、作るか。
As I stood up, I meowed happily and began tagging along on my heels. And Miss Yui, now resting by herself in the bedroom, let out a sudden sneeze. One way to start this. And we're here.
ちょっとゆいかかったよ今くしゃみ。ごめんなんだか鼻がムズムズするの。まったくもう。ティッシュあれどこやったっけ？ああ、なければ私の使ってよ。せめてものお詫び。やった、じゃあ私使う。私も持ってないよ。ティッシュちょうだい。はいサンキュー。あんたたちね、ティッシュくらい常備しときなさいよ。面目ない。まったく。それで何の話だっけ？そうだからさ、とうとう3年になっちゃったよねって話。ああ、だね。あと1年で卒業か。卒業もだけど、私たちそれよりもっと考えなくちゃいけないことがあるじゃない？進路よ。いや、聞きたくない。正直さ、進路相談何回受けたって将来のことなんかはっきりしないっていうかさ。だよね。どうするかな、ほんと。ねえ、ゆいはもう進路とか決めてる？実はね、もう決めてるんだ。
Oh.
なにゆい、何になりたいの？私はね、 私の名前は宍戸ゆい、17歳。将来の夢は先生になること。
Oh, this is a flashback to when she was a student. Well, I thought she was being a teacher at this.
あまりよく考えずに人のことに首を突っ込んでは空回ってることが多い私だけど、でもそんな私でもきっと頑張れば夢が叶うって信じてる。
Kisaragi Academy 5 years ago. Oh, she's young to be a teacher then. 5 years, she'd be 20. She'd be 22. Cherry blossoms are in bloom, and the rustling wind carried with it the soft warmth of the season. As a high school senior now, I was devoting myself to my studies in preparation for the day my dream could become reality. The dream was to become an English teacher. My grades were on the fence for getting into the university I wanted, though. So my best bet was to score a special recommendation from the academy.
はあ、よかった。急に呼び出されたから何事かと思ったよ。ある日の放課後、私は職員室に呼び出された。何かヘマをやったのかとか、成績が志望校に及ばないとか、そういう悪いことを言われるんじゃないかってビクビクしてたんだけど、私の予想に反して呼び出された要件はとてもいいものだった。
うちの学園からはライバルはいなさそうだから、このまま頑張れば推薦してやるぞ。だ
ってなんかやる気出てきちゃった。この調子で頑張らないとね。それにしてもゴミ箱ってどうしてこんなに重たいんだろう。
Oh, she's doing
ゴミ
trash.
捨て場まで持っていくのも一苦労だよ。
なあ、
This is what was her name? She was saying Sukasa.
突然声をかけられてゴミ箱を抱えたまま振り返る。それは今まで話したことのない男子生徒だった。彼は
Oh, sorry.
7組の三國
yeah.
司くんだ。
Heard a truck. I heard a truck. Y'all can just stop with the trucks.
そこ、足元。根っこが出てるから気をつけな。
え？あー、
Why does that voice sound familiar?
ちょっとそこ笑うとこ？
だってよ。
もうそこはさ、大丈夫かとか聞いてくれたって。
悪い悪い。
あ、いいよ、そんな手が汚れるよ。
別にいいよ、そんくらい。笑った詫びに手伝う。
ありがとう。
うん。これで全部拾い終えたか？
うん、もう大丈夫。
じゃ、行くぞ。
え？あ、
I remember it well, even now. This is my first time talking with Sukasa, and he left a strong first impression on me.
ごめん、重たいよね。
別に。
やっぱり自分で。
いいって。はい終了。
ありがとう、助かったよ。
じゃあな。
あ、ちょっと待って。
あ？
俺させてよ。
いい女のこれくらいで。
いいからちょっと待っててね。
ん？
友達が増えるというのは嬉しいし楽しい。その相手が三國司くんというのも嬉しかった。司くんよい。
Shit, sorry. Most of the times I'd seen Sukasa before this were in the school courtyard. He spent a lot of time there, sitting alone on a bench. Even after school or during summer vacation, if I happened to pass by, I would always see him there. And after this little encounter, we go on to make many fond memories together. And somehow the image of Shikasa that stands out most in my mind is him seated alone on that courtyard bench.
はい、どうぞ。コーヒー牛乳でよかった。
まあ、なんでもいいけど。サンキュー。
これは私からのお礼なんだから、黙って受け取ってくれればいいの。
義理がたいやつ。
We walked to the bench together, sat down, and began making small talk. The courtyard bench was a sort of mystical place. Leaves rustled over your head, and if you closed your eyes and opened your ears, it felt as though you were in the middle of some forest. And then if you looked straight up, the sunlight poured into the leaves, and you almost felt like you were in another world.
初めて座ったよ、このベンチ。
なかなかいいだろう。
うん、素敵な場所。
だよな。
あ、だからなの？
え？
この時間とか昼休みとかよくここにいるでしょ。
おう。
この場所好きなんだね。
まあね。
そっか。
The leaves rustled as a gentle breeze blew between us. We were both silent for a bit, but strangely it didn't feel awkward or uncomfortable.
引かないのか？
ね？
いつも一人で何してんだって。
この場所が好きだからいつもここにいるんだよね。
そうだけどさ。
他に何か理由があったりするの？
ないよ。
じゃあ聞く必要ないじゃない。
そうだけど、ほら普通聞くだろ。一人でそんなんつまらなくないかとか、意味わかんねえとか、変わってるなとか。
そんなこと思わなかったな。ここが好きなら一人でいたって別に変じゃないよね。
お前変わってるな。
え？
いや、そんな顔しなくても、今のは俺的褒め言葉だから。
変わってるが褒め言葉？
そうそう。
なんか納得いかないな。
The expression on Shaka's face was a dead giveaway that he really enjoyed talking to me. I've always loved the feeling I get when I know my words help brighten someone's day. I must have been sporting one hell of a goofy smile at the moment.
本当はさ、この学校でもっと好きな場所があるんだよ。
どんなところ？
秘密。
Mm-hmm.
とっておきだからな。
ってことは、そこも超素敵な場所なんだよね。
ああ。
いいな、どこ？気になるよ。
ダメ、そう簡単には教えない。それにいつでも見れるってもんじゃないんだ、そこの景色。
司くんは笑いながら紙パックのジュースを飲み干すとベンチから立ち上がった。そして
コーヒーをおごってもらったしな。ついでに教室まで運んでやるよ。
いいの？
ああ。
ありがとう。あ、私のクラスはね、
4組だろ？知ってるよ。シシドユイっつったら有名だからな。
どうして？
今から先生みたいな女子がいるって、12クラス全部で有名だよ。
それから私と司くんは何度か中庭で会っては話をした。校舎の中ではすれ違ってもほとんど話すことがないのに、中庭では不思議と話が弾む。
あ、またお前コーヒー牛乳かよ。
うん。
好きすぎだろ、コーヒー牛乳。
そんなことないよ。
1日に最低2本は飲んでるくせにか？
なんで知ってるの？
自販機でいつもそれ買ってるの、ここから見えるんだよ。ほら、そっち見てみ。
ほんとだ。
昼休みも放課後もいつもシシドがコーヒー牛乳買ってるのバッチリ見てたからな。
そんなことを言ったら、私だって司くんがここのベンチに座ってるのいつも見てたよ。
いや、知ってるけど、なんでまた言う？
お互い気になってたんだなって思ったから。
なんだそりゃ。
中庭での会話はたわいのないものがほとんどだった。教室で友達と繰り広げる会話みたいにあまり中身がなくて、でもすごく楽しくて。この場所、夏でも結構涼しいね。
夏とか言うな。
あれ？夏嫌い？
夏期講習が目前に迫ってたら誰でも嫌いになるだろう。
まあね、私たち3年生だもんね。夏。
お前は随分と楽しそうだけどな。
I keep doing that, I'm sorry. There's like no dead zone with the spacebar in this keyboard.
私は夢に近づいてるって実感できて嬉しいよ。
Maybe I should just go back to using the mouse.
私ね、人に勉強を教えるの好きなんだ。頼られるのも好き。
なんで？
お姉さんになった感じがするからかな。ほら、私一人っ子だし。
ああ、うん、まあ頑張れば。
はすっごいどうでもよさそう。
だって人事だしな。
そんなことを言いながらも司くんはやっぱり優しかった。だって私の夢を笑ったりはしなかったから。先生になりたいって夢を話すと大抵の人は笑ったり茶化したりであんまり真剣に聞いてくれない。だけど司くんは一度も笑わなかったんだ。
The season was quickly turning to autumn. After the school day ended, the senior floor was always a lot more quiet than its underclassmen counterparts. Everyone was off studying hard at the library or with tutors, so one day, thinking no one else was around, I sat down in a lone corner of the hallway. Initially, I grabbed my shoes and left the classroom intending to head home, but along the way I just started crying. I was overwhelmed. My sobs echoed from one end of the hallway to the other.
この日、私は無事に志望校の推薦枠に入れてもらえることになった。
Are these happy tears?
嬉しくて仕方がなかった私はすぐに友達に報告した。けれどいつもなら手放しで喜んでくれるその子がふと表情を曇らせた。
私の前でそんなこと言うんだ。まだ私は夢も何も決まってないのに。
多分私はひどくショックを受けた顔になっていたのだと思う。巴はすぐにハッとしたように目を見開き、慌てて謝ってくれた。だから私も笑って気にしてないよってそう言ったのだけれど気にしてないわけがない。巴の言葉と表情が鋭い針のようになって私の胸をつく。私考えなしだったのかな。他のみんなも同じこと思ってた。
I kept wiping the tears from my eyes, only for new ones to take their place immediately. Why didn't I think of this sooner? So many people are still facing uncertain futures with no real goals in mind, and I was completely oblivious to it. I was the only one. I was the one with a dream running around like the cock of the walk, and what kind of phrase is that? Blabbing about my successes and aspirations. I wouldn't blame them if they hated me. Would someone then sensitive to the feelings of so many other people really become a teacher? Did I ever even have what it takes to begin with?
シシド？
声をかけられて振り向くと、そこには司くんが立っていた。 いつもは廊下で会っても言葉を交わすことなんてないのに、この日はごく自然に声をかけてくれた。司くん。
すごい顔だぞ。ハンカチは？
持ってる。
じゃあ顔拭けよ。
司くんが戸惑っている空気がひしひしと伝わってきた。彼を困らせたくなかったから、私はこぼれ落ちていこうとする涙を必死に拭う。
何かあったのか？
何もないよ。
何かあったからそんなに泣いてんだろ？
これは友達とちょっと気まずくなっちゃって。でもすぐに仲直りしたから大丈夫。これはさ、嬉し涙みたいなものだから。
ふーん。
嬉し涙って言えばね、私推薦枠に入れることになっ。
I'm glad it's not, not okay. I'm not sure if I did it out of respect for Sukasa or just because I wanted to change subject, but I cut myself in the sense I was doing it again. What am I hearing? What was I thinking? Now even Sukasa was going to hate me for being a braggart. Hell, I hate it myself. Well, I was the worst. I'm just the worst. But...
マジか。
It was happy for me. That to take a bit taken back and not.
やったじゃんか。おめでとう。
うん。ありがとう。
お。
ありがと
う。だからなんで泣くんだよ。まだ推薦枠が決まったってだけで推薦入試があるんだろう。嬉し泣きするほど喜ぶにはまだ早いだろ
う。そうだよね。
Not tears of joy, though.
でもそうやっておめでとうって言ってもらえたからなんか嬉しくて。
Maybe they are now, actually.
たく。
ごめんね。
何が？
泣いたりしてわけわかんないよね。
そう思ってんなら早く泣きやめって。
And that meant all that? Okay.
もう大丈夫だから。
たく。
As I braved my soul and eyes, a smile broke through, and Shikasa let out an exasperated sigh. Then, as if suddenly remembering something, his eyes lit up.
そうだ、シシド。ちょっと待ってろ。
Shikasa ran into his classroom, quickly reappearing in the hall again just moments later. He was holding something.
お前にこれやるよ。
鉛筆?
His outstretched hand rested a short stubby little pencil, not the sort of thing you'd expect someone to go out of their way to lend you. It was pocked here and there with small scratches, but it still seemed to be in a relatively decent shape, considering how obviously well worn it was.
受験必勝鉛筆。
受験必勝?
A lucky pencil.
これ使うと試験に受かるんだよ。
本当に？
ああ。如月学園に受かるのは難しいって言われてた俺がこれ使って受かったんだから間違いないよ。
じゃあこれ司くんが高校入試の時に使った鉛筆なんだ。
そう、経験新たかな鉛筆だぜ。
霊言新たかね。
あ、それだ。
それじゃあ借りるね。ありがとう。
言っとくけど貸すのは推薦入試までだからな。一般入試の時は俺が使うから返してもらう。だから推薦絶対受かれよ。
鉛筆を受け取り笑顔でうなずく。今度は司くんも笑ってくれた。
人の気持ちまで勝手に思いやって背負い込んで。 悲しみまで自分のものにして。お前みたいなのが先生になれたらいいのにな。
From what I had no idea what he was talking about, but then it hit me. Like I had somehow sussed out from our conversation that I was crying because I had upset Toma, and he was turning that fact around to offer me encouragement.
頑張れよ。負けんなよ。
頑張れって言葉は辛い時にはプレッシャーになるから言っちゃダメってよく聞く。けれど私はこの優しい言葉が大好きだった。私頑張るね、司くん。
おう。
この日から私はどんどん司くんに惹かれていった。彼は全然そっけなくてちっとも振り向いてはくれなかったけれど。
I can still clearly recall the events of that day even now. It was October, the day before my entrance exam. The weather outside had been miserable since morning, and visibility was all but non-existent. It would be a bad omen if I were to slip and fall on the day before the exam, so I decided to wear boots to school just to be safe.
行ってきます。
When I opened the door, I was shocked to see a white-haired old woman lying on the ground, soaked to the bone. I tried to brush over to her side.
おばあさん、大丈夫ですか?
What does she wear?
しっかりしてください。どうしたんですか? Oh, まさかひき逃げとか?
The road running by my house was narrow and mostly used only by our neighbors. But it's not like it was closed off to outside traffic or anything, so a hit and run wasn't out of the question. I looked over the older one's body as best as I could. Fortunately, there were no signs of any serious injury.
よかった。事故とかじゃないみたい。
娘さん。
はい。
今日は学校へ行ってはならん。絶対に行ってはならん。
The old woman raised herself up slightly and spoke hoarsely. In the tone of her voice, she seemed terribly desperate.
だけど今日は面接の最後の練習があってね。
行ってはならんと言っている。
そういうわけにはいかないよ。面接は私が一番苦手とする試験だから。それよりおばあちゃんどうしたの？お家の人は？
どうしてもか。
え？
どうしても行くというのか。
うん。
ならばせめて。
Not knowing what to say, I nodded apprehensively as the old woman began digging through her pockets. She produced what looked to be a crumpled scrap of paper. When she was digging around, I noticed that her breathing had become dangerously ragged and began considering my options to assist her. Really, I should have gone back into the house and called my mom, but there was something about her that kept me glued to the spot. I sensed desperation hiding in that unbroken gaze. Oh, sorry.
お守りじゃ。
お守り?
The old woman clutched my wrist and forcibly pressed the scrap of paper into my palm. Lifting my head, I unfolded the scrap and looked carefully at it. At first, I thought I'd just been handed a piece of trash. So when I unfolded it all the way, I saw that it was actually a paper doll in the shape of a human being, of course. And there was a name written on its torso. Yui Shishido. Yes, my name written plain as day in easily legible
どう
brushstrokes.
して私の名前?
お守りだからじゃ。守る対象の名を書かねば身代わりにはならんだろう。
Who is this woman? crazy. This was all crazy. I didn't understand any of it, save for one simple fact. This old one was here specifically to give me the strange paper charm. Oh my god. As far as I was aware, we were total strangers to one another, but she clearly knew both my name and my address.
ごめんなさい、せっかくだけど私これいらないから。いらない。
As I extended my arm to her, turning the paper doll, I could sense her entire demeanor had changed. She raised her body up unsteadily from the wet asphalt. Oh. Okay.
わしが身を削って訪ねてやっているのに、なぜ誰もわしの言うことを聞かんのじゃ。
Maybe because we don't know you?
受け取らぬなら絶対に天神賞に行ってはならん。
天神賞？
そうじゃ、行くな、行くな。
Is she trying to change fate? As the old woman cried out, the paper doll fled lightly to the ground. Almost instantaneously, it became soaked through with rainwater. My name began to run and quickly turn into an illegible smudge. Since seeing this, the old woman grabbed and tore at her hair.
お守りが。これでもう抗う術は失われてしまった。
おばあちゃん、落ち着いて。
よいか、絶対に天神賞に行ってはならん。
待って、おばあちゃん、私の学校は如月学園だよ。天神賞なんて知らない。おばあちゃん。
Down for the count. Okay.
お母さん、お母さん、大変。どうしたの？家の前で知らないおばあちゃんが倒れてるの。救急車呼んで。わかったわ。
Is she just gonna be disappeared now? She's just gonna be gone, not there. Paramedics arrived in a matter of minutes. The older one seemed to be unconscious by that point, however, so the EMTs brought her out of
お二人はこの方の関係者ですか？
いいえ、家の前で倒れていたので救急車を呼んだんです。身元はわからなくて。
そうですか。では付き添いで乗車はされませんか？
The idea of making this old woman go to the hospital by herself just seemed like it would have been a shameful thing to do. Sure, she was a stranger, but we had a lengthy conversation mere minutes before, so I couldn't very well say we had nothing to do with one another.
あんたは学校行っといで。
でも
この方にはお母さんがついていくわ。あんたは今日面接の練習があるんでしょ。
そうだね。それじゃあお母さん、お願い。
ええ。
I was a little hesitant, but I knew I really had to go to the school today, no matter what. So I left the strange one in my mom's care and headed toward school. Walked right by her stretcher. Suddenly a hand rose from the limp form of the old woman and grabbed my skirt. Startled, I tried to jump away, but found myself ensnared by her terrible bloodshot eyes. I've been recording for like an hour, so I might end it there. Well, that ends this video for the third chapter of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. That was an interesting way to start the chapter, with basically we're getting like Rio's? I think it was Rio. Man, my short-term memory is fucked. But we got the teacher. No, Yui. It was Yui. Not Rio, Yui. Am I thinking of Rio? Maybe because I'm reading Rascal to Sundry and I'm thinking of Rio Futaba from there for some reason. I don't know why. Miss Yu. So we have some background around her. I don't know if there was any mention of any of this in the original game, or at least the remaster of the original game that I played. Yeah, this is an interesting way to start this chapter. I think this is supposed to be a shorter chapter based on what I've seen for the walkthrough, is that there's not many chances to actually save apparently, because it's like like minus what we just experienced, it ends up being like a very fast-paced kind of timed decision making kind of chapter, and I feel like we're going to get into that next time. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video for Corpse Party Book of Showers. If you did, subscribe, check out other stuff I do. See you next time. Bye bye.